Good morning. Hello, everybody. We are at 10:30 on Monday, the 31st of July. And if you're tuning in, you are tuning into my monthly Facebook Live, but it's now becoming actually a Facebook and Instagram Live. So hello to everybody on Instagram if you're watching. So sorry if I skip back and forward, but I hope you all had a lovely weekend. For those who, it's a bit earlier today, my normal Facebook Live tends to go around lunchtimes, but I thought I'd do it a bit early today as I've got a client this afternoon, which is fab. I look forward to working with them on their social media strategy. So, yeah, pulled it forward a little bit today, but hopefully you can join me live. If not, then catch up later on this afternoon with the replay. And just check if you can all hear me or not, then do let me know. Okay, looks to be working. And it's working. Right, so, okay, we're having some problems going live on Instagram. I'm not sure why, but I'll look into that afterwards, I think. Let's try this. So just bear with me. Okay, this should be better this time. Yay, it's on. Okay, sorry about that, Facebook. And hello, everybody on Instagram. There I am. If you're just tuning in, you are coming along to my monthly social media roundup. Every month I take to Facebook Live and now Instagram Live to talk about all the changes and the updates in social media news for over the last few weeks. Just the main channels really. There's obviously so much happening and everything moves so quickly that 20 minutes just to talk about them all would not be enough. So I can't just cover the main channels. If anyone ever has any questions about other channels specifically that I don't cover in the roundups, please just get in touch. Send me a question via comments or via Messenger, and I'd be happy to pick those up. So, as I said, it only lasts about 20 minutes on the live. I give a tip at the end of the month, at the end of the roundup as well, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, and if there's anybody you think who would benefit from finding out more about social media and keeping up to date with the changes, then please either tag them in the comments or share this out via your pages too. Cool, so hello Becky, Sweetness and Pea over on Instagram. Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to see you here. Hope you had a great time at Camp Festival at the weekend. Cool, so we're going to talk about Twitter first, because Twitter is really struggling with growth and retaining numbers, or actually increasing numbers. They're not necessarily losing them month by month, but they are not increasing their usership. So they're trying to offer something different and unique to everybody else. So what they've now announced recently in the last week is they're going to be offering a beta version, or they're going into a beta version of a monthly flat rate advertising offering. So for $99 a month, you can sign up to an advertising package whereby you set your parameters, so the people that you're trying to target, what their interests might be, etc. And then Twitter will do the rest of the work for you. They will then promote your tweets or your Twitter cards into people's newsfeed. So something which is that's probably a bit more accessible and affordable for small businesses, or any advertisers really, just to know that you don't have to continuously change and retarget and play with various factors like you do on Facebook at times. So for $99 a month, you know that Twitter is putting out your tweets into the news feeds of people that matter. So as I said, that's a beta version at the moment. I will share the link to that in the comments afterwards. On Facebook. So guys, if you're watching on Instagram, come over to Facebook after the roundup and there'll be the links to some of the articles that I'm discussing today in the feed. So yeah, so $99 for Twitter advertising. That's a beta version. You can sign up to that to be one of the first to try it. Yeah, so if you do, let me know. I'd be interested to hear if anyone gives that a go. Okay, LinkedIn. LinkedIn's had a couple of changes this month in terms of native video. So that's rolling out gradually, I think. I know a few people in my network have got it, but it's via mobile only first. You're going to be able to create native video directly on LinkedIn, and then in the coming months it's going to be rolled out to desktop versions as well. So again, this is showing us that real push across all social media channels towards video content. This is going to be great if you have got recruitment campaigns coming up. You're looking to recruit somebody, looking for new members of staff. Putting out your adverts in video format is going to be a much more engaging way. Not only that, but we can start creating video on thought leadership. So rather than, or in complementary to, creating a blog post through Pulse on LinkedIn, to be able to start sharing those thoughts on via video format as well is going to be hugely beneficial, and that's add another dimension to what you offer. Customized notifications as well. So you are now being able to control what it is that you're being notified about in LinkedIn, on LinkedIn. So what they tend to do at the moment is just a roundup of what they think, what they perceive to be newsworthy. So this is the latest news, this is the activity of your followers, and then you would interact in due course. Actually, hi Helen, thanks for coming along. But now you can actually choose what notifications actually that you're interested in. So you just want to see the news, you just want to see when somebody has a new job, you just want to know when you're getting a blog, when a blog is being shared by your connections. So have a play with those notifications. This is really going to start to allow you to feed out and kind of get rid of, if you like, anything that's taking up time, valuable time in your newsfeed on LinkedIn, because I know some people do comment that it can become very much like Facebook, and there are notifications being shared that perhaps aren't as valuable. So if you just go into the notifications tab now on your LinkedIn profile, you'll be able to adjust those and really hone it down to get the information that matters the most to you. Okay, so that's Twitter and LinkedIn. Instagram, some changes on Instagram this month have been around mainly, obviously we talked last month about live video, and that's now being attached as a replay onto your story, so it's not actually disappearing, which is great. But they're now starting to open up their API, their coding, if you like, to third-party apps to allow them to provide better analytics. So outside of the Instagram app, you'll be able to retrieve your stats on your posts. And they are actually they are culling or cutting down or getting more specific with apps who are trying to offer this this feature but aren't a preferred marketing partner of Instagram. So you might use channels like Instagress is one who might give you some stats. They're actually starting to shut those channels down or start to report them because they do breach their community guidelines. So if you are looking to manage Instagram outside of the app to increase your efficiency, etc., then something like Hootsuite or Iconosquare are your best options there for you. It's actually going to allow you to manage comments as well, and turn off commenting functionalities. So basically giving you much more control of Instagram outside of the app, which just helps for time purposes, really, particularly when you're alone managing it all by yourself. Sorry. Yeah, Hootsuite as well as Iconosquare. If you are using any third-party apps to manage Instagram, let me know if you want me to look into whether or not that's it's going to be affected or not. That's fine. Cool. Facebook then, let's move on to Facebook, which Facebook is changing all the time, and the new features it brings in are just unreal at times. I was just looking this morning at Spaces, which is their augmented reality app, and it's just unreal. If you haven't looked at it yet, give it a quick Google. But they're now introducing live video into their augmented reality app. And I'm going to share the video link in the comments afterwards, because it's just a bit of fun, and I appreciate a lot of businesses will be quite far from using those sorts of tools and technology, but it's a really interesting look. So yeah, just to see where things are going in the future. But yeah, 2 billion users now on Facebook, it's been announced. There's like 7 billion people in the world. 2 billion users now have a Facebook profile. 2 billion people in the world. It's crazy. So you still can't argue with the figures when it comes to choosing Facebook as a platform for your advertising, your marketing, and your PR needs. But that does mean there's a whole lot of other people and a whole lot of noise to cut through when you are using that channel. So there's 17 million businesses advertising on Facebook. That's a lot of competition. So Facebook does have the numbers, and you can't argue with that, but just remember, it's not the be all and end all. They've got 1.2 active daily active users as well. So although there's 2 billion, the amount of people who are 2 billion registered users, the amount of people who are using it day in, day out is rising as well, and not just becoming passive users. Hello Lorna, thanks for popping by. One of the main changes on the Messenger app now is that they're now allowing you to advertise directly through Facebook Messenger. So this is echoing their push towards really using Messenger as a communications tool, as a marketing tool, for businesses as well as just the individual. So now they're opening up ads globally. You'll be able to directly target people who have Messenger open in the nearby area, who have messaged you previously, as well as targeting people perhaps in the future that haven't even communicated with your business through their Messenger app. So that's just another tool for you guys to utilize in terms of your strategy, particularly I think with younger people who are certain, probably younger than the 25, 26 age, because they're not really active in the timeline on Facebook these days, and they are just using Facebook particularly just to message their friends. So it's allowing advertisers and marketers to get into the newsfeed of that demographic. They're also testing custom audiences. So keeping on the vein of advertising, they're now testing custom audiences for Instagram business accounts. So you can now, or they will eventually, they're just testing it in specific countries at the moment. You will now be able to create an audience to target with your marketing based on those individuals who have interacted with your Instagram profile. And you can do that then directly through your Facebook Ads Manager. So very powerful tool. I know there's some businesses that I work with who have a Facebook page and an Instagram profile, and the traffic that they get to their Instagram account is a lot higher naturally than what they're getting on their Facebook page. So being able to have an audience set up to specifically target those is again going to be extremely beneficial to them. Cool. And then the last thing about Facebook, two things actually about Facebook I wanted to cover. One was the ability to change the link text, or alt text is what it's called, when you're putting a link into a post on your page. That's ceasing to exist. They are basically trying to address this whole fake news issue. And currently, if you cut and paste a URL into your status box on Facebook, you can actually adjust the automated text and the link text that's displayed, which is actually a really useful tool. because it allowed you to give you more space, really, to give your message across, rather than just kind of use the status box. So you could create a short update and then use the rest of the content where the link was populating to actually drive users to take action or provide more information. Well, Facebook are now taking that ability away in this war against fake news. So a bit of a shame, but great that they're tackling fake news in that way. What I would say is you need to be sure to check your metadata on your website. That way you can make best use and ensure that the automated text that's pulled through is the best that it could be and should be. And groups as well. Facebook groups can now be created by page admins. That's now a global feature. So I've seen that around a lot of businesses locally and in my network for a few weeks now. But it's now a global rollout, which basically allows individuals to no longer have to use their profiles to administrate a Facebook group, but still get the benefits. So you can now set up a group as your business page and have your community more kind of tight-knit and managed that way as well. If you want any tips on how to best use groups, how to set one up, if you're struggling to see where that function is on your page, do let me know, write me a comment, send me a message, get in touch, that's fine. Okay, what time are we on? 17 minutes. Okay, lastly, what we're going to talk about is Snapchat. So the couple of updates this month from Snapchat are the ability to add clickable links within your content. This, again, is huge. And I always say it, but over the last couple of years that I've been training and really vouching for Snapchat as a legitimate business tool, the two main things that I have always been challenged on is, one, I can't be searched. No one can actually find me on Snapchat, which they've now introduced a search tool, so businesses can be found. And you can find other users as well easily. And the other point was, I can't provide any links to my website, so I'm creating this content, I'm providing these calls to action, but I'm losing people. And my answer was always about being creative and how you drive people to those websites. And there's a number of ways you can do that, asking them to screenshot, asking them to get in touch and you send them the link back, etc., etc. But to cut a long story short, they have now introduced this month the addition of clickable links. So you can add a web address. You will see a little link, a little figure of 8 sign really in your frame on Snapchat. Click that, type in the website, it will search it and attach it. And now when people are watching your content on Snapchat, all they have to do is swipe up and they'll go directly to your website. Slight edge there over Instagram, because Instagram stories particularly are only allowing clickable links when you have over 10,000 users on your account, whereas for Snapchat it's for anybody. So there is a slight edge there in my eyes. So that's 2 additions now, and that coupled with the accessibility of being able to create filters now through your app and making those much more accessible. There's really a strong argument for businesses to start taking Snapchat seriously as a decent advertising tool and communications tool, particularly if you have that target market on there. Okay, so lastly on Snapchat, you can now images. What was I saying about images? Multi-snaps. So rather than just hold and record a 10-second clip and then publish it to your story, go back, create another piece of content, publish it to your story, they're now allowing you to create multiple pieces of content in one hit. So you can create up to 6 10-second clips and then publish them all at once. So I think that's going to make the journey a lot easier as a content creator, and it's a much more seamless usability for it. So yeah. And actually that takes me back, thinking about images, to LinkedIn. I forgot to cover that you can now share up to 9 photos. So you can natively post video, and now you can share up to 9 photos on LinkedIn. So it's really pushing towards visuals, which I'm going to keep harping on about until I see it everywhere. If you're not using video and imagery in social media, please get in touch and I can help you understand why that's important and where you can get some inspiration from. Which leads me on to my tip of the month. As I said at the beginning, I finish with a tip every month. This month I want to say, get creative. Creativity doesn't have to be expensive on social media, and these channels give you the tools to do that. You need to be creative in order for your content to outshine other people's in your newsfeed. There is so much content being produced, but if you are just creating text and all looks the same, people are going to scroll past. You need to be creating what Facebook calls thumb-stopping content. And that's applicable not just to Facebook, but that's applicable to Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat, everywhere. You need to be over and above what other content creators are doing. So use the tools, use the GIFs, use live video, use native video, pre-recorded, animations, polls on Twitter. Think about how you can be creative in sharing your message, because that will improve even just your organic reach. And it will give people something to talk about and actually recommend you. If they see you doing something fun and interesting and different, they'll start to say, you should follow X on Facebook or Instagram because they're really cool, they do this. So it's great for your reputation too. Okay, everybody, that is it. I've had enough of your time already. It's now just coming up to 5 to 11, so I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you to those who joined in live. And for anybody who didn't and you watch this on the replay, thank you very much. Next month is at the end of August. It's on the 31st, and that will be at around midday or so. So pop some time in your diary now. If you have any questions in advance of next time, or there's a channel that you're particularly interested in, or if you've seen something change and you've got anything at all, I'm more than happy to take those on the floor live or in advance, and I can cover those for you during these live streams because they're all about helping you guys for free. And lastly, if you're not yet signed up to my newsletter, please visit my Facebook page or send me an email, natalie@naturallysocial.co.uk, and I can get you added because I share loads of free tips there via email as well. And a date for your diaries now is the 2nd of December. Small Business Saturday. There's going to be lots of stuff coming out about that in the next few weeks. I'm going to have some offers and a bit of a celebration event. So stay tuned for more info. Cool, that's it, that's me. Thank you guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully see you back here around midday on the 31st of August. Have a fantastic week. See you later.